Hey kids, welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 9, Loops, exercise number 3. Let's go ahead and see what we have to do in this exercise. First thing we got to do is import our Painter Plus Java from our backpack over here. And this is going to be helpful here, kids, moving forward. Does your code not work? Did you have some issues? Well, if you click here, it'll actually give you the code that you should import. That means I can copy and paste this, come over here, create a new file, and paste that code in. But we have it in our backpack, so we don't need to do that. This is just in case you're a little behind. Once we do that, in Painter Plus Java, we're going to write a method signature for the takeAllPaint method. Looks like we want to do something that while we're on top of something, we should be picking it up. What's a method signature? Remember, kids, that's really just our modifier public, and then the method name, which they've already given for us, takeAllPaint. Inside the takeAllPaint method, use our pseudocode from the writing activity, and we're going to write the algorithm for the Painter Plus object to take the paint while on the paint bucket. And we have our pseudocode here, so we're going to take this pseudocode that we have and turn that into real code. And then we're going to test our method. And of course, if we get stuck, we always have our show me how. Let's go ahead and work this one by one. First, import the Painter Plus from our backpack. Well, that's easy. Come up here to backpack. Whoop, not that one. We want Painter Plus. Hit import. There's my code. Number 2, write a method signature for the takeAllPaint method. Well, that's not too hard. First thing we need to do is figure out where it's going. We want it within this subclass of Painter Plus, right? That means we're going to put it between these two curly cues. And a method signature, again, what do we have to do? Well, we have one right above to look at. We need our modifier, and that's going to be public because we want to have access. We don't want a return type, so we're going to do void. And then we're just going to do takeAllPaint, just like that. Are we missing anything? Well, yeah, if you look above, they have a curly cue, so let's go ahead and open ours and put it down there. Let's take a look at our pseudocode. You can see my pseudocode here really says, while the painter is on a paint bucket, take the paint. And we worked with a bunch of while statements before. We know the syntax of them. How do we take this pseudocode and turn it into real code? Well, the first thing we have to do is our while statement. And the anatomy of this is we have while, and then while what? What is our condition happening? And we are going to call to the is on bucket method we've been using. So while it's on a bucket, we want something to happen. One other thing with the while, it also has curly cues. So don't forget to add those as well. Let's just clean this up here a little. And now we have to figure out, while it's on that paint bucket, do we want it to do anything? Yeah, we do. We want it to take all the paint, right? And there is already a method, takePaint, that we can use. Looking over here, we just wrote a little method that when our object Painter Plus moves onto a paint bucket, it'll pick up how much paint is there. And we're using a while statement instead of a for statement because we don't know how many paint buckets are there. Sometimes it might be 8, sometimes it might be 5. We just want to get them all. After that, we have to test it. Let's go ahead and test ours and see if our object is created, moves over, and takes all of that paint. Doesn't seem like it's working. I wonder why. Take a look at our code here. Looks like I did a common roads mistake. I misspelled the method. And I didn't add code to call that method yet. That's why it just stopped over and nothing happened. So I had a misspelling and I haven't called it yet. Let's go ahead and call my object real quick. How do we call this method takeAllPaint? Well, we're going to get our object, my painter plus, and we're just going to call that same method right there, takeAllPaint. Now when I hit run, my sprite should move over and now take the paint. Whoop, looks like we have an error. What's it saying here? takeAllPaint. We couldn't find that. Let's take another look at this. Oh, there again. Misspelling. It says talk, not takeAllPaint. Again, kids, gotta watch what's put there. We have to call it exactly like it is. This is the method we're calling. So specificity is real important here. Let's go ahead and try this now. I think it's going to work. There we go. My painter object took all of that paint. Key takeaways from this lesson. Two big things here. First off is remembering some of the basics we've already learned. That's how to make a method, the anatomy of a method signature, and the syntax on how to write it. For our method here, takeAllPaint, we use the while statement because we didn't know how many times we're going to loop through. It could change from time to time. Just because we know it's 10 on this lesson doesn't mean it's going to be 10 on future lessons. So this right here is important to know. First, how to write the method, the anatomy of the while loop, and then we also have to call that method in order for it to work. And remember, we have to call that method spelled exactly like we have it written here. I think that's everything we need to do for this lesson, kids. Hopefully, this video helped you write your own first method with a while statement. As always, kids, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. See you later, kids. Bye. Bye.